Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to choose a dog walker for your dog. Now I don't use a dog walker, but I did stand in for a lady that owned a dog walking business for a couple of weeks, and let's go and see. You don't need to see Albert how you're doing that. We'll go over to Albert. And I worked with her staff for a few weeks, and I was quite surprised, quite shocked at some of the stuff that happened. Now, there wasn't anything that happened whereas I felt that a dog was actually in danger or suffering. You know me, I'd have stepped right in. That would never have happened. But I was still thinking, well, if they were walking my dogs, I wouldn't be happy. And I thought, especially the fact that the staff were doing this stuff just in front of me, made me think that, it's just what happens. So it wasn't anything shocking. There's nothing horrible coming up. But I just didn't think it was very good for a dog walking business. So a couple of things I saw they didn't pick up their poo after them. I thought that was really bad. Sorry, Harry's, doing what dogs do. Let me see. You don't need to. You can't see him, but you can hear him doing it. There we go. Don't do that. Don't do that, darling. People don't want to see that. Yeah, so didn't pick up their poo. I thought that was really bad. Not to mention illegal, isn't it? So they weren't doing that. And this was in like alleyways or pathways. It wasn't just in the middle of the country. Not that that makes a difference, but it was just anywhere. The other thing was they didn't do the whole time they were supposed to do. If the dog was supposed to go for an hour's walk, they didn't get an hour's walk. Some of them only got like 10 minutes because we had so many dogs to get into that day that they only got a 10-minute walk. The other thing that really surprised me was how many dogs they let off the lead when the comebacks were non-existent. And that's because these people didn't really care about the dogs. They weren't interested in the dogs. They weren't horrible to them, but they weren't interested. Therefore, the dogs weren't interested in them, and their comebacks were shocking. But they let them off anyway. And the other thing, now I didn't see this because the way I set up the day, it was one dog, go and take that dog back, go and get another dog, take the dog back. But I can see how easily it could have been where dogs were left in cars or vans while other dogs were picked up. And obviously, for all the reasons, there's so many reasons why you don't want your dog left in a car or a van. And remember, just because your dog, this winds me up quite a lot really, just because your dog doesn't die from being left in a car or a van doesn't mean that your dog didn't suffer horribly. So Harry, darling, I'm trying to record a video and everybody can hear what you're doing. Having a bit of a wash. Yeah, so I think, personally, if it was me, if I needed a dog walker now I don't need a dog walker, but if I needed a dog walker now, I would find somebody, and I know this is really hard to find because, again, this doesn't make them lots of money. I would personally have somebody local who just came and got my dog and took him for a walk. Now, I'm figuring that you're not going to get that because they like going and picking up 5-6 dogs at a time because that makes them an awful lot of money. So, personally, if it was me, now, I wouldn't use a company. I wouldn't go near a company, I wouldn't touch a company. What I would do is I'd find somebody locally. I'd want them CRB checked and all that malarkey, so I knew they were safe. I'd find somebody locally who just came and got my dog and took him for a walk. But I would pay them quite a lot of money because they're not, you've got to make up for the fact that they're only walking your dog. So I'd probably pay them double the amount. So it's roughly about £10 an hour for a dog walker. So I'd probably go like £20 an hour. But like I said, I don't use dog walkers. I just do it all myself. Or my husband, we just don't use them. But if you have to use them, if I had to use one, that's what I would do. I would not use a dog walking company. I don't see... That's the other thing. I think these dog walking companies, they don't have to be experienced dog owners. They don't have to be dog lovers. And often you'll see them, and they open up the van, they let loads of dogs out. They're not experienced enough to stop those dogs fighting or anything like that. And they just don't care enough. And I think it's the same as when I talked about the vets. You've got the good, you've got the bad, and you've got the ugly. So you've got the good, which I think good dog walkers are very hard to find. For goodness sake, if you know one, please, let's talk about them because I haven't ever come across one. If I've been out somewhere and a van's pulled up and they've let out loads of dogs, The dog walker's got a real, and I don't say anything to them or anything like that. I'm just I'm just there walking my dogs. But the dog owners generally are on their phone, the dog walkers, they're just generally on their phone paying no attention to the dogs whatsoever. And that's the other thing. If you go back to my video on how to stop a dog getting stolen, that's prime location. Prime location for getting your dogs nicked. No one's paying attention. They're all just running around loose. The comebacks are rubbish. So on the whole, you know, I just think the problem is with the dog world is that there are so many businesses where it's really easy to make a load of money from dogs, and loads of people do it who don't care about the dogs. And I think Dogs Walkers is prime for that, because you don't need any experience. So, you know, I'd almost be tempted if I had to use, I wouldn't, but if somebody had to use a dog walking company, or you are using a dog walking company, he's picked up on that word. Oh dear, I'm not saying that word again. I would let them come to your house or whatever. I'd be waiting up the road somewhere in my car, and I'd follow them, and I would check how things were. But like we've discussed before, I'm a miserable old battle axe, and I don't trust anybody with my dogs, least of all dog walkers. Obviously you want to make sure there's insurance in case anything happens. You want to make sure they come regular times. I'm a real thing for advocate for dogs having a regular routine, and you need to make sure that they have a regular routine and they have a regular time. That's really key. Don't just let, you know, your dog's got to come first, so make sure that they can have a regular time. If it's hot, you need to make sure that they're not walking your dog, that they're doing something else, and maybe spending time in the house with them, cuddling them, playing them, whatever. Don't be letting you, just, you know, if it's like today, it's 27, there is no way on this planet my dogs are walked. They were walked early at 6:30 this morning, and that's it. There's no way they'll be walking 27 degrees. And you know, if a dog walker's got to make money to pay the mortgage, they're not going to care about that. So make sure if it's hot, your dog walker is not walking your dog. And this is where the whole thing comes in. If it's just one-to-one, then the dog walker could come inside your house and spend some time with your dog, nice and cool. But if they're walking 4 or 5 dogs, they can't do that, and so they can't give your dog the attention that he needs. Think about it. Summer's, you know, almost half of the year, so you know, it's something to think about. And it goes both ways. Like when they bring the dog back from a walk, if it's been a cold day, supposing it's the winter, and in the UK they put salt on the paths, do they wipe your dog's paws when they get back so that there's not any burning from the salt? Do they check your dog over when they get back and make sure that everything's okay? Do they dry them when they get back? If it's raining, you know, do they just... This is the other thing with this dog walking company I wasn't investigating, but I was. They just opened the front door, let the dogs go in. And that was it. And they shut the front door and went. There was nothing. There was nothing to make sure the dog had a drink. There was nothing to make sure the dog was okay. There was nothing. And yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, like I said, I didn't see anything horrific, but I just saw care that I wouldn't want for my dog. No way. So my dog's about to kick off because I think a car's pulled up at the front. Here we go. Albert, you're on camera, darling. Well, you don't need to bark anymore. Is it the postman? I don't know. Albert, you don't need to bark anymore. I don't know why I record my videos at the same time as the postman comes, because they bark every day at the postman. So I really don't know why I record my videos at the same time. Anyway, so I haven't really got anything else to say about dog walkers. I don't really like them, to be honest, as you can tell. If you are a dog walker and you can tell me different, tell me. If you're a dog walker in the UK, especially the southeast, hold on. Someone's at the door. I'll be back in a minute. Hold on. Right, sorry, the postman was at the door. Okay. The other thing I would say is, if I had to use a dog walking company, or if you're using a dog walking company, what I would do is book a day off on the day they're coming, and then don't tell them that you're going to be in, but don't hide or anything like that. Be very in. So maybe go and open the front door when you hear them pull up. So first of all, you'd better check what time they came. But more importantly, what I would be looking for is, how does your dog react? Someone's coming to take them for a walk. They should be really excited. So they probably will be excited. But what you need to check is the interaction between that dog walker and your dog. You'll know your dog well enough to know whether or not that's a good interaction. just look out for it, because they're going to put it on. If you're there, they're probably a bit surprised you're there. They're going to put it on. So is it all over the top and fake? Which, by the way, if a dog walker is coming to walk your dog, the greeting shouldn't be over the top. That's creating a really bad energy. It should be nice and calm. Now, actually, if somebody is, if it's a professional or experienced dog owner, they'll walk into your house, and if your dog's going crazy, they will actually ignore the dog. That is how you should walk. Ignore the dog until he calms down. But then it should be nice, calm, loving talk, greeting to him. And if you're not getting that, then, well, I know what I'd be doing. You just need to be looking out for stuff like this. Just don't, assume that they're a dog walker, they're a professional. Don't assume that anybody in the dog world that's a professional anything is good. Because, unfortunately, it's a world I've been around for years and years and years. And yeah, we know I'm fussy and all that. But it's not all good. And the problem with the dog world is that it's not anyone can do it. Pretty much anybody can become a dog trainer. Anything, dog groomer, dog trainer, dog anything. It's really easy to do it. And it's why there's just such bad people in this industry. And just really be aware of that. And I know I sound like a white miserable old cow. I know that. But I need you to, I don't know, I think because I've lived around this world for so long and I've seen the bad side of it, I just need to tell you about it so that you don't have to see it. I don't want you to have an experience where your dog isn't treated well by a dog walker. I don't want that to happen. And whilst my dogs never have been, because I haven't put them in that situation, I have seen dogs, they're not mistreated. Mistreated is a funny old word. It's not mistreating. I'm not going to say I saw that. I didn't. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So I'm going to go now. Honestly, these videos, all I do is moan. But, I feel very passionate about this. Very passionate. And I get really annoyed at the thought of people doing anything to be horrible to animals. And it does wind me right up. So anyway, I'm going to leave it on that note there. There's little Albert having his sleep. We've been out. We've done our WALK. Can you see Pickle's little head around that corner? Look, down in the corner. He's got a cool pad along the back of the sofa and he lies along there. So that's it. I'm going to go now. I'm going to stop moaning. If you've got anything to say, if you're a dog walker and you're furious with me right now, can you comment? Because I need to know that the dog walking industry is not as awful as it is as awful as I think it is. But I and the people watching this video need to know that some of you out there are not so bad, that there are some good ones. So, if you're watching this, you're furious with me, comment, talk to me. Come on, let's have the conversation about this. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. There's a website, #Furry and Spoilt. Everything's under Furry and Spoilt. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.